Welcome to Game Garble, a one-stop podcast for game news and portal to undiscovered and interesting game content.
This is Kayla.
Hi!
And I'm Chris, and we're your hosts.
Yeah! Welcome back for another week at Game Garble!
Yeah, welcome back to Game Garble.
We are super excited that you're here for another week of fun, basically.
Yeah, excited to talk about some video games, some gaming culture. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, and this week I've been super pumped because the new season of Rick and Morty had its release date announced and the trailer, and it got me super excited for the new season of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm pumped.
It's pretty exciting that it's finally happening.
And to celebrate, we played one of the Rick and Morty board games. We have pretty much all of them.
We have a lot of them.
It's our goal to own all of the
like
Rick and Morty board
them.
games. 3's a lot. There's only like 4 or 5 out.
I know.
Watch, someone's going to tell us there's like 10 out, and we're going to have to catch up and just like search for those other missing ones.
I think these are like the adult swim ones.
Yeah. So we played Total Rickall.
Yeah, we did.
And it's like a mafia-style card game. And you have to
kill the parasites.
But not the real person. And the real cards have Mr. Poopy Butthole. And so you can't accidentally kill the real people.
Yeah, because then you lose.
Yeah. And it's based off the Parasite episode for those of you who are Rick and Morty fans. Which I'm assuming is most of you because everyone loves Rick and Morty. I mean, let's be real. So I'm super pumped for the new season. So I played the new Rick and Morty game.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the deck and the cards? All the characters.
I think that it's very like true to the episode.
Right.
And it also incorporates a lot of like fun, popular characters of the show. So I love it. Wouldn't change anything about it.
So what's cool about the game is that you can play it cooperatively, where you're all trying to get rid of the parasites and not kill the real people. But you can play in an advanced mode where you pick character cards for yourselves, and you could be real, but you can also be a parasite. So depending on if you're real or a parasite depends on how you play the game. Because if you're a parasite, you don't want parasites to die. You want there to be parasites left at the end of the game so that you win.
Yeah, and it's a cooperative game, so it's a lot of fun.
It is.
So, yeah, that's what I played. And then I also played, the classic Stardew Valley because I'm obsessed with Stardew Valley. So I played that a little bit. My goal is to play enough new files that I'm able to marry every option in the game.
Basically to get all the cutscenes.
Yeah, because I want to see all the cutscenes and not from YouTube, but from actually playing it.
Yeah, you want to work for them.
Yeah, I want to be rewarded for my effort. So I've married Elliot. He was the first one that I married. And then I married the computer guy whose mom is Robin. I forget his name. Well, anyway, I married him. And just a little spoiler, he's not a great spouse.
Oh, Sebastian.
He was my least favorite. I don't remember his name.
Black hair?
Yeah.
Sebastian.
Yeah, I didn't like him. All he did was work on his stinking truck. He gave me hardly any presents. He didn't help out on the farm. The best so far has been Elliot. He brings me presents. Sometimes he helps with my chores. He reads me poetry.
You marry an emo guy and you expect him to help you out a lot?
I don't know what my expectations were not met in that marriage.
No.
And so I've also married Emily and Haley. And my next one,
Didn't you
I'm
marry
working
Haley on accident?
Yeah, I married her on accident, and then I was stuck with it. So
stuck married.
She does have a lot of character development in the game, though. So
it's nice to see that.
Yeah, so she's not like a total witch like she is, like in the interactions before you start dating or marrying her. See, the problem was I gave everyone roses, so then I was dating everyone, but then I accidentally gave Haley the little marriage shell, so then I was stuck marrying her. I wanted to give it to Sam, so now I have to work all over to get Sam to marry me, and I'm pretty close. But then after him, I think I'm gonna do Penny, and then the woodworking girl, and then the doctor.
Leah.
I'm not a very big fan of the doctor.
No?
He seems kind of boring. I don't know.
Maybe there's more to him than meets the
I
eye.
guess. Basically, none of them they don't compare to you, Christopher. You're just the best husband.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. So
Basically, you're trying to play as much of it as you can before they update it with a new update with new content.
yeah. And I've pretty much done everything you can do in Stardew Valley. So my last thing is to marry all the characters. So yeah. I have to do that. And buy a house in town. I think you can buy a house in town.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
You
So I
can
gotta
build a
do that.
community house for Penny's mom, too.
Oh, really? I guess there is more
Yeah.
stuff for me to do. That's awesome. Well, I guess
Yeah.
I'm going to be busy this week.
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do since they last updated it.
And I love it because my brother's starting to get into it. And so he's like, it's like his new obsession.
Asking us for help and...
Yeah. And Christopher's like, you should ask Kayla. She's the pro. I was like, yeah, that's right. I am the Stardew Valley pro.
I know. A game that she's way better at me that.
There's not many. That's just one of them.
Yeah, one of few.
One of few. You know, you got to take the win where you can.
Exactly. Yeah, rocket.
So I've been having a lot of fun with Stardew Valley. It's been giving me a nice break from House Flipper. So
Yeah.
yeah, from House Flipper and
You
Zoo
gotta
Tycoon.
play another simulation game.
Yeah,
Fill in
I need
that.
to play another simulation game to give me a break from the 2 other simulation games I'm playing.
Yeah.
Really 3 if you count Slime
We
Rancher.
see an ongoing pattern here. The kind
I
of games you
just
like.
love simulation
Hey,
games.
there's nothing wrong with that. You
But,
love your genre.
Yeah, I do. So what have you been playing?
So I've been getting into Terraria hardcore.
I've noticed that.
I have. So
You've been playing it like almost every night. It's your new obsession.
there's the last update coming out for Terraria called The Journey's End.
Ooh.
And
bum, bum, bum.
I'm so excited for it because it's a really big update. And I've played Terraria for a long time, and I've really loved this game because it's got that Minecraft feel where you can make all these different things and you have a sandbox world and there's so much to do. It's just yeah, it's hard to get bored of it. But on top of that, it's a 2D game with a ton of Metroidvania elements.
Mm-hmm. And you are obsessed with Metroid.
And there's a strong sense of progression and like getting better equipment and better gear and better weapons, better accessories. So all those things tick all my buttons. And I can't get enough of it. So
it's a really, really fun game.
Yeah, and to get like pumped and excited for the new update, we've been playing with some mods, and man, we've been having a blast.
I love mining and collecting in that game. Like that's all I do really is mine and collect. I guess I build some, but
yeah,
I feel like
building's
Christopher
not
and his
the focus
brothers.
of Terraria.
Yeah, I feel like Christopher and his brothers build really cool stuff though, but I just get the stuff for them. Like I just like to mine and collect and to build those fun mine carts. You can go fast on them.
Yeah, build the mine tracks and just like go run
I
into the
accidentally
mountains.
died on one of them though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I lost all my treasures.
Oh no, all your gold.
So dumb.
All the monies.
Yeah, but then I went and found it and it was fine. But still, it's a fun game.
Nice. It is. I was hoping to get you back into it this time we played, but
I just have been really busy with my simulation game, so.
And that's fair. Yeah.
But maybe I'll get into it this week with you because I'm sure you guys are still going to be playing. So
we will. Yep. We're barely halfway through playing.
Yeah.
We just entered hard mode, and there's a lot of stuff to do in hard mode. So
Are you playing with your
So
brother
I'm
Cam
playing
and
with
your brother Damien?
Right. I'm playing with two of my three brothers and one of their girlfriends. So it's the four
Oh,
of us
Ariel's playing with you?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ariel.
Yeah.
She holds down the gamer girl fort, and I love it.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And
She's a beast when it comes to like any game.
it's true.
She's so talented. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I just can't get
Now
enough
I
of
feel
these
like I
kind of
need to play
games.
because I'm getting left out. Like, I didn't know Ariel was playing. You should have told me.
I told you.
Oh, now I feel
thought
left
I did.
out. All the cool kids playing
Yeah, I
Terraria,
know.
and I'm just sitting on the sidelines with my simulation games
Yeah.
that are also equally awesome. Just
They
saying.
are, but Terraria is a buttload of fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've also been playing some old school Game Boy games.
What?
Been playing some Final Fantasy Legend 3.
Nice.
Yeah, not to be confused with Final Fantasy 3.
What are you playing it on? An emulator, or are you playing it
No,
on actual
I'm playing
Game Boy?
on a Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh, what?
Yep.
On the old school system, too. Not even on PC emulation.
No.
What?
No emulation. This is legit cartridge with a legit
Wow.
handheld console. Yeah, so
impressed.
Final Fantasy Legend, there were 3 of them. I mean, they were like the other Final Fantasy games, just Game Boy sized.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played this game many times. I've had it since I was a little kid, but I've never beaten the game. So my goal this time is to beat the game.
Proud of
And,
you. You can do it. I believe in you.
Thank you. It's really not a hard game, but some of the bosses will throw you for a loop. Like, there's definitely grinding involved.
Ew. I hate
Yeah.
games that you have to grind in.
Yep. Well,
Just don't have the patience.
that's how old RPGs work.
I
honey.
know.
Yeah, it's part of the you work and you get stronger, and then you can destroy that boss that was
I've
giving
played
you trouble.
the old RPGs. I know. They're just not my favorite.
That's okay.
Current RPGs kind of spoil me a little bit.
Yeah, they
'cause
do.
A lot of them don't have that. But
No, they're geared towards giving you the fun on a platter.
yeah.
Which is fine, but sometimes it's also nice just to work for it. Get that
Hard pass.
yummy content. Anyways, it's as generic as RPGs go. You can travel to the past and the future. The things you do affect the different eras. So I guess you could call it Game Boy Chrono Trigger.
You and your Chrono Trigger.
Hey, don't
He's
hate
obsessed.
on the classic.
He's obsessed.
Don't hate on the classics.
Uh-huh.
One thing is cool, and I think this is present in all 3 of the games, but you can sometimes enemy you defeat will like drop like one of their parts or like a piece of meat, and when you eat it, you transform into a monster or a cyborg or a robot.
Whoa.
There's so many. You could basically transform into not any monster, but almost all the monsters and robots in the game. It's a very intricate system, and it's neat how, like, if you're a robot, you can like buy these pills from the store to like upgrade your stats.
Right.
If you're a monster, then like you just have base like powers and abilities, but you can't do much else or use equipment. So there's a decent amount of depth in a little Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And that blows me away because, back in the day, Game Boy games were a novelty. You had fun, and then your fun was done.
Right.
They were,
You traded them with your friends. That's what I did.
right. I mean, you have Pokemon, but, a lot of the Game Boy games were designed to be short and small because they're these little cartridges, and they're
Right.
portable. So you're playing them on the bus ride or whatever, and then it's done. But Final Fantasy Legend 3 had a lot going for it, and it's fun getting back into it. And then
Sounds like it
seeing,
still does have a lot going for it if it's still relevant to you,
Yeah, it's cool going back and playing this and like getting farther than I did when I was a
Yeah.
kid and seeing this new content in a game that's so old. I
Right.
think this game came out in like 1990.
That's the year I was born.
Yeah, almost 30
I
years
know. I
ago.
know. I'll be 30 next year.
I know, it's crazy.
So, if I had to like choose one of my favorite games from like childhood, that was a Game Boy game. Definitely Zelda is always going to be number one, but
Yeah, Link's Awakening.
I also yeah.
Shout out to the remake.
Hey. But I also really liked the Disney Tarzan game where you collected the bananas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with that game. I would love to get my hands on that game again because I don't have it anymore. It just like I think it got lost in one of our moves when I was a kid, but
Christmas
I
ideas.
loved that Tarzan game and I would collect all the bananas and it was so much fun.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, we also did something really fun this week.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we got to go to the Scribble Showdown at Moore Theater in Seattle.
Yeah, we did.
And it was so fun.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, we haven't really been to like a comedy show, and this is like less a comedy show and more like a comedy art experience.
Yeah.
Because these are animators and
it was interactive too.
Right, and it's interactive with the audience and like they're doing like drawing games and contests and you have Arin Hanson from Game Grumps that's hosting the thing and
yeah,
4 well-known animators doing the drawings.
So Arin was there from Game Grumps.
Yep.
He was the host, like
Yeah.
Christopher said. And then the competitors were Odds One Out, JaidenAnimations, Rubber Ninja, and Domics. And there was a little girl sitting next to us, and she was so adorable, and she was obsessed with Domics. And so she would shout and scream, and it was adorable. But anyways, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect. Honestly, we went because we're big fans of Game Grumps.
Yeah, Arin was going to be there. That's why we went. We had no idea, like,
Arin and
really
Ross
what it was.
were going to be there. We were like,
Yeah.
we'll go.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a lot of fun.
It was, yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So basically, Arin would give them a prompt, and then they would have to draw whatever that prompt was, or he would give them like a task to do. He would ask for suggestions from the audience, and it was just a lot of fun. And so we have some pictures that we'll post on our social media if you want to see some of our time there and some of the artwork and some of the YouTubers. Go check out their channels. They're pretty awesome. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was cool that like this was like all competition and they were like competing to earn points. And at the very end, they do an animation, but because it's ridiculous that they're gonna do an animation in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They draw sets from the audience, giving out ideas, and they draw all these different things, and they already have an animation set, and they plug in the drawings they just did. We get to watch our
ideas come to life.
Yeah, we get to watch our ideas come to life. And it's cool that like the audience and the animators get to
have that interaction.
Yeah, make this thing together.
And when we originally went, we thought it was going to be more of an adult comedy show. And it was more geared towards kids, which I actually liked because the kids were having so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that there were so many kids there because it was a late show for kids.
It was.
In downtown Seattle. But shout out to their parents. That's awesome. I hope we're those parents.
Yeah.
Taking our daughter to a late night comedy show in downtown Seattle. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I obviously know Ross from Game Grumps, but I knew Domics too, and JaidenAnimations, and I'd heard of Odds One Out before. But yeah, it was a neat show. It was fun.
It was really good.
It was fun to go.
Yeah, definitely worth it. It wasn't that expensive either. I think it was worth the money that we paid for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. And it went by really fast.
Yeah.
I think it was a 2-hour show. It only felt like an hour.
Yeah. It did not feel like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to Game Grumps Power Hour on YouTube. They have been crushing it. Hilarious content. You should go check it out. If you don't already, which you probably do because they're incredible. But anyway, we had a lot of fun, and so you can check out some pictures of the show on our social media if you want to see it. So
yeah. Now we're going to do our news segment of our show.
Garble News, ready for reporting. A portion dedicated to what's happening in game culture.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's always things happening out in our wonderful gaming world.
So true.
Yeah, and this week's no different. I managed to find something very interesting.
Very interesting.
That a company called Analog is making. So I'm pretty into retro consoles, if you haven't been able to tell. And I love all things, old gaming. And Analog is a company that has made retro consoles for Super Nintendo, Sega, Genesis, and they have a couple of other things as well. But they're very much into that retro console game. And they're coming out with something called the Analog Pocket, which is basically...
What?
It's a Game Boy Advance.
So is it an emulator?
It's not an emulator. So this thing doesn't emulate the games that you're playing. It has a slot in the back that you put your old Game Boy game cartridge in.
That is so stinking cool.
And the software is designed to read the game and then play it as if it were a Game Boy. So instead of it emulating, it's essentially a Game Boy Color, and a Game Boy Advance.
So we have to buy
rolled
at least
into one.
2 of these when they come out. Maybe 3.
Yeah, well...
So Izzy can have one, our daughter. She's almost 2.
I don't think they've released a price yet, but it's probably going to be a bit expensive.
We'll wait a few years. Wait till it's mass production.
This is definitely a novelty item
as
far as what they're making. Because it's not just that it can do that, and that you can freaking buy an adapter to play your Neo Geo games, to play your Atari Lynx games, to play
crazy.
Your Sega Game Gear games. Yeah.
Sega.
Ridiculous. But this thing also has a built-in music synthesizer.
Really?
You can make music on this thing. Yeah, it's a really sleek-looking product, and
I can't believe it has a synthesizer on it too.
Yeah, it's very much like it's designed to be like a fun novelty item that you can play your old games on, but also something that for developers that are making games or that are making music, they can also use this tool to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat that retro consoles are a huge thing now. I mean, just look at how awesome Nintendo did with their mini NES and mini SNES.
Yeah, those
sold
were
out
cool.
Immediately.
We tried to get our hands on one.
And we did.
Did we?
Yep. We got one of both.
I didn't know that.
We did. We have
just everything.
We missed the mini NES the first time around.
Oh,
but
that's
came
what I was
out,
thinking.
They made more, and I ended up snagging one.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It is awesome, and it's neat that they're making retro games more accessible to people that have never played it.
Yeah, or people who don't have experience. Like, look at all the kids who didn't grow up in the 90s who have no idea.
Right. And now they have an opportunity to be able to play these old awesome games.
Keep those games alive, keep them relevant, hand them down to the next generation.
Right.
It's awesome.
Like someone that's a a little kid that's a huge Nintendo fan that's played the
Yeah.
newest Zelda, but they've never like played Ocarina of Time or
Like our
A Link to
daughter
the
is
Past.
almost 2, so she's Gen Alpha, which is the newest generation.
Yeah.
And I just want her to be able to have the games that I, as a millennial, had when I was a kid. And so it's really cool that she'll be able to have that experience.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we have those systems set aside for her, but it's cool that she'll be able to have something new to access it.
Right. Because there was a decent portion of time. I'm sure anyone listening can remember when, if you wanted to play something from like the Super NES or NES and you didn't have one, then good luck.
Yeah.
Because unless you were going to emulate,
Too bad. Yeah.
I mean, you had the Wii, which
and
did a really good
emulators
job with
aren't terrible. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
Like there's a time and a place for an emulator, I think.
Right. And there's a bit of a gray area with emulating games in general.
Yeah.
Unless it's from like the company themselves.
Right. Well, you don't want to steal their...
Right, exactly.
Like they still deserve to get revenue from their content. So I totally get that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, in the same fact, like, games are coming and going, and like these older consoles, like they're not making more of them,
Yeah, it comes down to preserving the culture.
Preserving,
too,
like video game
that's
history.
why it has a time and a place. Like
exactly. And it's awesome that these companies like Nintendo, like Sony, are trying to preserve their history of video games.
And they're being proactive about it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Whether it was from, the community doing their own thing and them stepping in or what. Whatever the reason, it's just awesome that we're able to preserve these games for futures to come.
And that there's a market for that.
Yeah.
They utilize their market. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great news story, Christopher. So thanks for reporting it.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you. So now it's time for Obscurity. Welcome to Obscurity, a segment of the show where we take a unique or unknown game and chat about it.
Yeah, and this week's game is The Gardens Between Us.
It's a really cute game. It was released in September of 2018. It's available on Linux, Mac OS, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and iOS. So we played it on Xbox One, so we'll be giving you the perspective of playing it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a single-player puzzle game, and it is about a boy and a girl that are neighbors. And one night they sneak into their backyard and they have a treehouse. So they're in their treehouse and it starts to storm. And the storm gets bigger and bigger till eventually it blows their treehouse into outer space or dream world.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So now they're traveling planet to planet trying to get home. And so each planet has different puzzles that you have to unlock in order to go to the next destination. And eventually they just want to get home.
Yeah.
And so each planet is based off of something that's like in their life. So for example, one of the planets is all about like video gaming. And so there's like a controller, there's an old school like VCR, and you use all of the landscape to solve the puzzle. And so you can manipulate time in order to solve the puzzle. It's so cool.
It is cool because basically it's like they'll be walking up around this set and you can choose to interact with something as you walk by it. And you can choose to like keep like letting them walk forward, or you can reverse time and go back. But some things keep going that you've interacted with, or you'll walk up and interact with something that'll like open something back behind you. You'll revert time to go get it and then like keep going.
Yeah. So each puzzle starts out with a light. It's a ball of light, and you're trying to get the ball of light to the end of the puzzle that has a portal that will take you to the next place. And so you manipulate time, like Christopher said, and utilize the different actions available within the puzzle with time travel in order to solve the puzzle and go to the next world. And it's a really unique game because it utilizes like dream world and like the way kids dream and what is of value to them to solve puzzles, which is like really unique. And it's unique because you get to manipulate time to solve a puzzle. I've never played a game like that before.
Yeah, and the sets are really beautiful. They're really well put together and well thought out sets. And when you start interacting with things and they come together, the set plays out in a beautiful way to end up, when you end up solving the puzzle.
Yeah. So we're about halfway through the game now, so we're really excited to finish it, and maybe we'll do a follow-up on social to let you know how it went. But at this point, it's been an incredible experience. It's very unique. The art style's beautiful. The sound effects are really beautiful. It's just a very unique game. Definitely worth playing. It is not super challenging in the beginning, but it definitely builds like most games where the puzzles get more challenging and more challenging. So it's fun to start playing with another person around the fourth or fifth puzzle. It's single player, but if you have a friend that you guys can problem solve the puzzles together, you'll probably solve them a lot faster because they do get pretty challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they only get harder throughout the game because we're only halfway through the game.
Or maybe they get easier. Who knows?
Plot
even
twist.
knows?
Plot twist.
Probably people that beat the game, I imagine.
But it's a lot of fun, and we've really enjoyed the game. So go check it out. We played on Xbox One, and I think it plays really well on Xbox One. So if you have the opportunity to get it on Xbox One, I would. So yeah, it's awesome. So you can check out the link in the description, and you'll be able to be rerouted to it if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us today. We were super excited to get to chat with you and hang out with you for a little bit. Join us next week, and don't forget to check out our social media and leave us a review. Be awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye. Did you have a good time? Leave us a 5-star rating with games you would like us to chat about next, and you could be featured in an upcoming episode. Don't forget to subscribe and talk with us on social media. Links are in the description. Thanks for visiting, friends, and until next time, game on!